Okay, this is a sequence that for years at North Shore Yoga at Waimea Valley fell into the middle of the week. It was the Wednesday session. It was designed to kind of stretch things out from stuff that is built up in the middle of the week, but also to be a long counter session for the previous session. So in this 3-session sequence that I'm giving you, this would be one long counter session for the back bends that you did in the last session. I was taught that back bends are supposed to be followed by forward bends and twists. So this session could actually directly follow the previous session, or can be done on its own, either maybe the day of or the day after a long workout, or prior to using your muscles. And basically I look at this session as a way to negotiate with resistance. We turn to the different asana and we hope that every position reveals a little appropriate level of resistance or tension, and again, appropriate level. Don't want to push it too far. When you're going down the road of intensity, you want to go just far enough so that it still feels good. You don't want to go too far towards intense, because beyond intense is pain, and always staying back away from pain is the main thing. It's a hip opener, it's a hamstring lengthener, we'll go to the shoulders a little bit. Basically every asana I can find that awakens a little bit of feedback, and then our job is to negotiate with that feedback and breathe it away. It's all about the symbiotic relationship between your breath, pranayama, and the asana position you're in. So as you go through, listen closely to your body and make sure that there's the appropriate level of feedback, that there's no pain at all, and especially silent knees. I'll probably say it a bunch of times, but when you go into the hips, you want to make sure that your knees are not talking to you at all. The hips, if they're not open enough, they'll try to pass off that opening to your knees. And my experience is the tiniest little thing from your knees could be a long-term problem, whereas your hips can take a lot more. So we try to get the hips to move around a whole bunch more, so that your knees only have to do this. You want your knees just to do this, that's about it. So we'll start where we end, as we usually do. We'll start in a seated position to see if it's even an option. Hopefully by the end of the session it will be an option. If your hips aren't open enough to sit, whichever way you choose to sit, I'm in half lotus. That's about as good as I can do. You know, full lotus, I can torque my way into full lotus, but my knees don't really like full lotus so much. So the option is to sit in half lotus, to sit in just free pose, sit with your legs straight out. If your knees don't like it at all, we'll be there shortly. Or if you want to sit on a block and lift the lines of your sitting bones a little bit, that helps. Anytime you lift the sitting bones, there's less need for opening the hips, less opportunity for the knees to pass off that opening to the ankles and the knees. So sitting up on something, of course you're sitting on the block sideways, so your sitting bones rest on it, and pillows work, any little lift, a towel will work, a blanket will work, whatever you got. You don't have to have a block. This block literally cost me $5 along with strap, so it's not a big expense. So just check in, see, kind of take an inventory of what you've got, what are going to be your obstacles, and spend a little time coming into your breath. The breath is a very important part, as it is in every session. Use the inhalation in certain ways, use the exhalation in certain ways. For this one, using the inhalation for setup, for exploration, to target the areas of tension, using the exhalation to release the tension and to help drop you deeper into the forward folds, to drop you deep into the hip openers. So let every inhalation come in through your nose. Let it fill the bottom of your respiratory system first, and let it rise upward. There'll be an expansion of the rib cage, lift of the chest as it comes up. As you exhale, try to reverse that. Let the breath flow downward. Relax your face to set the tone. Relax your shoulders. Just spend a little bit of time finding a nice comfortable rhythm. Just like you want to find comfortable asanas, comfortable positions to be in, you want to find a comfortable, workable version of your breath. So don't look for the longest, inhalation you can find that has a little bit of strain in it. Don't look for the longest retention that's uncomfortable. Just find a nice smooth inhalation. Let there be a little bit of a pause. A nice smooth matching exhalation, a little bit of a pause. You'll have the next hour or so to stretch that out, to work on expanding it. Right now, just find the best one that works for you. Find a little time coming into your breath, coming into your mat, spend a little time with yourself. If at any time, any position becomes uncomfortable, get out of it, switch it. If you need to switch your legs, you can do that. If you need to straighten your legs, do that. Never develop an asana past its comfort level. The whole point is for every position to be comfortable. Now you've got a little bit of a rhythm. Now you've got a little bit of focus. Now your knees are probably asking you to come out of your Padmasana or your outer Padmasana or your lotus. So if you're sitting on something, take it away. Gently straighten your legs. Give your knees a moment to make that transition. And then come into Dandasana, which is your L seat. Dandasana works a lot off proprio-neuromuscular facilitation, fancy way of saying muscle confusion. When the muscles on one side of the body are working, the muscles on the opposing side will soften. So, you engage your quads here to promote a softer environment through the backs of the legs, which will let you shoot your heels a little farther forward. This will give you kind of a deeper stretch to the backs of the legs. It will also let you sit up straight and protect your back. So lift your chest, hide your back, relax your shoulders, relax your face, so the chin drops just a little bit. And spend some time with Dandasana. Time is your ally. Time is one of your main tools in this session. Gravity is another tool. The use of the breath, of course, is always a tool. I'll let you know when we're using each one. Now we're going to make our first transition from Dandasana to Paschimottanasana, your seated forward fold. You may want to have your hands back behind you like this. You may want to have them alongside of you here. You may be naturally more flexible, or like me, just have long arms and be able to bring your hands to your toes. Don't worry about closing this space. Think about stretching out this space, the back of your legs and the back itself. Paschima means west. This is Paschimottanasana. The west side of your body is your back. So this isn't about closing off the east side of your body, which is the front. It's about opening and lengthening the back. So look at all of your forward bends as back lengthening. And use your exhalations to fall deeper into them. Use your inhalations to set you up to go deeper into them. So your in-breath comes in, it starts low, it rises up, it creates space, it lifts the chest, it helps to hide the back. And with your exhalation, just relax down. Give Paschimottanasana a few more breaths. We'll be back in this one too. So there's no race to go anywhere. Just breathe away the pockets of resistance that pop up. And let the breath benefit your asana. Let the asana benefit your breath. Give it one more set-up inhalation. Fall deeper down into it with your exhalation. And then, as you always should, use your inhalation to bring you back up to Dandasana. Back up out of your forward fold. And now we'll go to Janu Sirsasana. You're going to draw your right knee up. Then just let it fall to the side. Make sure your right knee is okay with that even. And then draw your right heel towards your center. Place the ball of your right foot to the inside of your left leg. Your left leg should be strong, straight. Your knee should be going straight up. Your toes should be going straight up. And then, because of a little angle to your left leg in this one, and I personally have had my back go out going to Janu Sirsasana, because what happens, and don't do what I'm doing right now, I went down, realized my leg was over there, and boom, right there, just that subtle twist. Generally, this is generally, your back especially doesn't like you to combine forward bends with twists or back bends with twists. It likes you to do one or the other. So, do a little baby twist to set up Janu Sirsasana. Bring your right hand to the outside of your left knee, take your left hand behind you, and with an exhalation, just gently twist your upper body to the left. So the entirety of your next inhalation can help you lift the chest forward towards the top of the left foot. And then again, your hands can be behind you. Strap could be put into use, like so. Or the hands could be crossed around the foot. Just like Paschimottanasana, lift your chest towards your left foot with each inhalation, and then just let gravity and the release of your exhalation take you down. Give Janu Sirsasana a few breaths. As you fall deeper in, keep listening to your right knee to make sure it's okay with what you're doing. One more long, smooth, set-up inhalation flows in through, and the exhalation drops you deeper into Janu Sirsasana, and then your inhalation brings you up. Now you're going to draw your right leg up, right foot flat to the floor, bring both hands over the left leg. Again, a strap could be used, but not imperative, and anything can be used as a strap. A surfboard leash, a belt, a towel, or this strap that came with my $5 yoga block. And you're going to bend your left knee. You're going to either grab the foot, you can place the strap around the ball of the left foot, and press your left heel towards where the wall and ceiling meet across the room from you. Doesn't mean you have to straighten the left leg. You're just elevating the left leg, elevating the foot, getting a little blood flow down here, lifting the chest, relaxing your shoulders, and just finding another way to soften whatever resistance is popping up through the back of that left leg. And then gently, with an exhalation, you're going to slowly lower the left leg. Now, right about here, your back might be saying, hey, might not be a good idea to leave your hands where they are. If that's the case, you slide your hands up the shin. If you can leave them here, great, but if not, slide them up a little bit. And you're going to drop your left heel down. You can hook your right arm right at the top of your right shin. Your fingers will be off to the side. Then you're going to swing your left arm back. The reason why we didn't bring the right arm too far down is because you want the right shoulder to be up here nice and in line with the left as we go into a twist. You're going to twist to your left. And I have the base of my left palm pressed to the floor so my shoulders are in line. The reason why you want your shoulders in line so is when you look over the left shoulder, there's a nice freedom of rotation there. And then just a nice open twist to your left. Relax your jaw. As I'll suggest with all seated twists, keep your eyes open and look as far in the direction you're trying to go as possible. Where you look is where your body's going to try to go. So whether you're driving a car, coming off the bottom, surfing, skiing, riding your bike, wherever you look, that's where your vehicle's going to go. So look as far to your left as possible. Use an inhalation to set you up and give you some space. Use an exhalation, deepen your twist. And then with an inhalation, come out of your twist back to center. Where you're now going to take your right foot over the top of your left leg. Your left leg is still strong, straight, knees going straight up, toes going straight up. Your right toes are pointed forward. You're going to bring your left hand to your right knee. If this is okay with your shoulder, take your right arm up like so, and take the right hand back. If you have shoulder issues, just take your right arm back like this. Right fingertips land facing back in a way that again keeps your shoulders in line, in a way that gives you a nice long line from your sitting bones to the top of your head, and let an inhalation come in to add space between those 2 points. So with your next 3 exhalations, you can go to Ardha Matsyendrasana. Work your way up your back. First, rotate your lower back to the right. And then wherever you are at the end of your exhalation, wait, let an in-breath come in. Maybe at the top of the in-breath, slide your left arm a little farther around the right leg. And with your exhalation, go deeper in. And then with your third exhalation, glide your chin out over your right shoulder. And look as far now to the right as you can. Keep your left leg strong, engaged. Keep the breath flowing. Inhalation gives you space as it rises upward. Exhalation gives you the release to move into that space. You get a nice little abdominal squeeze, which is benefiting your abdominal organs. And you deepen all twists with exhalations. And you come out of all twists with inhalations. So next time your inhalation is coming in, you come back to center. Now we're going to transition. You're going to lean a little bit to your left. Take the outside line of your left foot all the way to the floor. Super important. Because you're going to bend your left knee. And maybe rock back to center. Drop your right sitting bone inside your left heel. Maybe point your right toes off to the left. Your knees are deciding everything you're doing. This is another place where you can sit on a block if you need to make it more comfortable, to make your knees quiet. Make sure your ankles are okay with what you're doing. Make sure your knees are okay with what you're doing. And maybe lean back if you're getting any feedback from the knees or too much feedback from the hips. Maybe you come up here. Maybe you're on a hard surface and just holding up the feet is what you want to do. Maybe bring your hands in front. Another option is to go to Gomukhasana or cow face pose. Since you have your right leg over the top, we're going to balance that opening by walking the back of the left hand up towards our right shoulder blade. You use your right hand to pull your shirt out of the way. Listen to the feedback in your shoulder. I suggest not going as deep into your shoulders as far as feedback goes as you do your hips. You want to be careful. Listen carefully to what's going on in your left shoulder. And then shoot your right arm up, bend the right elbow, let your fingers touch, maybe. Let them clasp, maybe. Another place where you could use a strap to work the hands closer towards each other. But no contact is imperative here. Especially if you work out a lot or paddle a lot, you might not get the fingers anywhere near each other. But what you have is a great opportunity to breathe into it. And this is where the breath can really do its thing. You can take deep inhalations. You can feel the inhalations skirting the resistance you're getting in your left shoulder, skirting that resistance you're getting in your right hip. And just breathe it away. Until your shoulders have had enough, and then you'll bring the hands down. Now we're going to pigeon. Ekapada Rajakapotasana, the pigeon bow, the hip opener. What I'm hoping is the way we got here in a way that keeps left knee quiet and left leg is completely comfortable. Since that's the case, if that's the case, don't move it at all. From your butt to your toes, leave the left leg right where it is. And then straighten the right leg, lean a little bit to your left, and extend the right leg back. Start by just watching the top of your right foot go down, your right knee go down, and then you might want to lean a way over to the left. You may be able to breathe your way from left to right. The feedback should be coming from right here. No feedback should be coming from the left knee at all. So what you're doing is you're just breathing your way from left to right, and then maybe, if you're centered, dropping down. You might just drop down a little bit. You might come down onto your elbows. You might be able to drop your forehead all the way down and just relax deep into your pigeon bow and give it some time. You can spend a lot of time here as long as your left knee is quiet, silent. You want to keep that feedback coming from your left hip, so keep extending back through the right leg. Keep breathing. And then just imagine the breath going into that left hip, finding the tension that's in there, and let the exhalation help all that tension to just dissolve away. Send one more in-breath in. Melt deeper into your pigeon bow with your exhalation. At the end of your exhalation, bring your fingertips down beneath your shoulders, tuck your chin. And with an inhalation, gently come up. Yeah, there's a back bend pigeon. We did that in the last session, but today is not about back bends at all. There's 0 back bends in this session. That's kind of the gift of this session. Just in case you have any back issues or wrist issues, no back bends, no planks in this session. Now we're going to swivel to the right. You're going to draw your left heel in. You're going to shoot your right heel to the back right corner of your space. You might have to make a little shift to the right. And then you're going to straighten your left leg and find each corner. Shoot your heels out, point your toes up, your knees up, lift your chest forward. This is one of my less open poses, as you're about to see. But that makes it that much more fun. That gives me that much more time to enjoy the opening that's available. So I start with my hands behind me. Hiding the back is the main thing here. And with an in-breath, basically you want to imagine there's another line going out there. That's where you want to try to get to. You don't want to get down here. You want to lift the chest, tilt forward, and with your exhalation, give that space that the inhalation created to gravity and collapse downward. You might want to leave your hands behind you. You might bring them to your toes, or my favorite is to slide them underneath the calf muscles. And what that does is it lightens the contact your heels are making with the floor, puts your arms in a spot where you can keep the knees from rolling in, and puts the arms in a space where you can assist the in-breath with creating space, helping to lift the chest forward, lift the rib cage up out of the waist, and the exhalation drops you down. No hurry. I've been doing this one for 26 years or so, and this is what I got. So making incremental improvements and breathing away resistance, that's all we're looking for. Rejoice in finding the resistance, because you know you'll be that much better after you breathe some of it away. This is Upavista Konasana. Give it one more setup inhalation. You'll be back here too. So drop into what is your new edge of resistance. See where you are. And then come back up. Bring your legs together. You're back in Dandasana, that LC. Lifting the chest forward. You're engaging the quads. If you've got a vulnerable back, just do what you did the first time. If your back's not vulnerable, you've opened things up. So the opportunity now is to reach your arms out, up, look up, reach up. You're looking up because, again, your body's going to go where your gaze goes. So by looking up, your body tries to get to the ceiling. That gives gravity that much more space to use. You collapse down into Paschimottanasana, where, again, the chest lifts forward towards the feet as you inhale. The upper body collapses down towards the legs as you exhale. Picking up where you left off, chipping away at that resistance, melting deeper in with each exhalation. Remember, we're not holding positions. We are developing asanas. Give Paschimottanasana one more setup in-breath. Collapse down with your out-breath. Scoop up, lead with the chest. Bend your knees, bring your toes so they're hanging 10 over the right side of your space. Bring your hands beside you. Lift your butt up off the floor. Turn your hands back. Stay right here if you want. It's a great way to develop this squatted position, which kind of simultaneously stretches and strengthens your ankles. It also is a twist if you felt like it. Left hand stays where it is. Right arm swings to the outside of the left leg, fingertips face in opposite directions. And with just a couple exhalations, you gently twist to your left. Quickly it becomes a lot of work for the left hand. So we'll just give it one more breath. Deeper into it with an exhalation, as you do with all twists. And then come out of it with an inhalation. Leave your left hand where it is. Swing your right arm back to line up with the left hand. And then swing your left arm to the outside of the right leg. And twist the other way. This is Pasasana. Noose pose. Let an in-breath bring you back. This is our first standing forward fold that we're making our way towards. So I start with my hands behind me and start to lift the sitting bones up. Leave your fingertips on the floor. You can leave them facing back. You can flip them around so your fingers line up with your toes. Now, the time we spend in Paschimottanasana does not guarantee that we opened up Uttanasana. It might help a little bit, but doesn't guarantee that we targeted the same line of the hamstring muscles in the seated forward fold that we're now getting in the forward fold, standing forward fold. Balance is the main thing you're looking for. Notice my knees are just a little bit neutralized. That's why I have balance through my feet. And then with each inhalation, increase the space from your heels to your sitting bones. Let your sitting bones rise up a little bit. And with each exhalation, let your upper body collapse down a little bit. You're not trying to get your head to your knees. Let the top of your head hang straight down towards the earth so you get a nice bit of relief and release through the neck. And just let the breath go to work on Uttanasana. You'll be back here too. Give it another breath. Melt deeper into it with your exhalation. Slide your fingers forward, shoot your crown forward, the top of your head. See, this is standing Dandasana now. Engage your quads a little bit. Get space from your heels to your sitting bones to the top of your head. And then with an exhalation, bend your knees. So we can just gently, lightly float the feet out. Walk the fingers back. How you position your feet is up to your ankles. Find the position to your feet that doesn't cause any strain to your ankles, and ground your heels. Over distribute the weight to your heels so that you get the added thrust you need to now drop slowly down. Press your fingers back so the heels stay grounded. Let your upper body fall towards the space between your legs. You can leave your hands here, or you can slide them underneath the outside lines of your feet. Relax into this forward fold. You'll be back here. So melt deeper into it with your exhalation. At the end of your exhalation, bend your knees a little bit so you can roll up. Stack your back on top of itself, one vertebra at a time. Come up. Drop your shoulders down from your ears. Turn your left foot forward. Line up your left foot so it's parallel to the front lines of your mat. Line your left foot up so it's going towards the arch of your right foot. And use your right forearm to draw the right side of your pelvis back so your pelvis is facing over the right side of your space, being a nice cradle support for the rest of your upper body that is doing the same. Then extend the arms away from each other. Find a line of connection from one set of fingers to the other. Drop your shoulders down from your ears. Take your gaze out of your left arm. Reach back through that right arm, touch an imaginary wall with your fingertips, and with an exhalation drop into Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. The idea is to drop straight in. Main safety point here is to make sure you have a vertical line coming up your left shin. You don't want the left shin going forward. You want a nice vertical line up your left shin. You want the big toe of the left foot visible to the right side of your left knee. Your right leg is a strong leg here. Your left leg is relying on the opening that your pigeon gave you. And just spend a few breaths with Virabhadrasana 2. Getting a nice opening through the shoulders. Nice little hip opening through the left leg. A little strengthening through the right leg. And with your next exhalation, let your center drop a little bit farther down. With an inhalation, straighten, but don't lock your right leg. Now, we're going to Trikonasana, triangle pose. You may have inched your right foot back a little bit to accommodate the alignment you needed in Warrior 2. So you may want to inch your right foot forward just a little bit. Sometimes there's a slightly narrower stance for triangle than there is in Warrior 2. I'm going to reach over and grab the block, because block is a nice, very helpful tool for triangle. First of all, what's a block do? It raises the floor. Whether you're sitting on it, using it for a forward fold, or using it for your triangle. It just raises the floor, makes it so the floor is closer to you. Now to set up for triangle, shoot your right hip back, reach your left arm forward. Get as much space as you can from the lower section of your, or lower left side of your rib cage to your left hand. And just simply close the gate. Don't try and get to the floor with anything, just drop the left hand down. Notice where I am. I'm on my fingertips on the highest level of my block to start. Then you're going to shoot your right arm up. You can line the arms up the same way they were lined up in Warrior 2. You can draw your shoulders back from your ears. You may want to look up, you may want to look straight down. Engage the quadriceps of your left leg so you have that softer environment through the back of the left leg. Stay strong and grounded through your right leg. And keep lifting through the left side of your rib cage. Keep trying to flatten through the right side of your rib cage. And give Trikonasana a few breaths. And then take the gaze down. Your hand could have been on the block, it might have been on the floor. If your hand's on the floor, leave it there. We're going to draw the left knee forward till we again have that vertical line with the left shin. If your hand's on the floor, leave it there. If not, bring your left elbow to your left knee, bring your fingertips to your belly button. Plant the outside line of your right foot, reach your right arm up, just look for a nice long line from your right foot to your right hand. Tuck your chin towards your right armpit, and give Parsvakonasana a few breaths. Now we're going to transition back to Trikonasana. Take your gaze down, watch your right arm windmill its way down past the left leg. And as the right arm starts to go up, let that left leg straighten, let the left arm release. The lines you want in Trikonasana are the spinal column to be parallel to the floor and the arms to be perpendicular off the floor. And then you're always looking for smooth transitions. So there's a little extra movement from one asana to the next, an economy of motion. With an inhalation, come up, turn your palms down. And with an exhalation, drop back down into warrior two. Then turn your palms up. Note this can be the position of your arms anytime you want in warrior two. And swivel forward. For this transition, you may want to bring your hands to your knee. You turn your right foot back. And then you're going to bring your hands down to the right side of your left foot. You're going to slide that right leg back. You're going to drop the right knee down. You're going to check to make sure that once again, you have that vertical line up your left shin to protect the left knee. You have a little stretch to the quadriceps on the right side. Your body may be asking you to come way up onto your fingertips. Your body may be saying you can come down. You can bend the elbows. Maybe you can drop down. Targeting the left hip. Keeping the left knee silent. Keeping the intensity at a point where you can still breathe smoothly. And then the exhalations help any tension you've found dissolve away. Send one more in-breath in there. With an in-breath, come up. Frame up your left heel, slide the left side of your ribcage over the top of your left leg. We're going to do this little stretch just because the left leg kind of calls for it after that hip opener. Leave your left toes down. With an inhalation, glide your left sitting bone back. Slide your fingertips beneath your shoulders. And with a fresh inhalation, lift your chest towards your toes, lift your toes towards your chest. And with an exhalation, collapse down. Not head to knee. Try and get your face way out in front of you, and that'll make it a much safer environment for your back and a much more efficient way to develop the asana, Utthita Padasana. Ride the flow that your breath gives you one more time, lifting the chest towards the top of your left foot. Ride the release of the exhalation down, and then collapse down. And with an inhalation, slide the hands forward, roll the foot forward so the ball of the left foot comes to the floor. Tuck your right toes under, press your right heel back, and inch your left foot over till the arch of your left foot covers your right thumb. Now, you have a big landing area to the left side of your left foot. If you have any knee issues at all, maybe bypass this one. But there's an option of bringing the right knee bit next to the left thumb. If you want to sit on something, you can, or you can gently sit down. Your left toe is pointed towards the front left corner of your space, your right toe is shooting off to the side, and we're going into a twist. Left hand to the right knee, left arm back behind you, if that's okay with your shoulder. And an in-breath to give you some space, to line things up, to make it safe. And once again, seated twist, work your way up your back. So you want the lumbar there waiting for the thoracic to come around. You want the thoracic section of your spinal column to be there waiting for cervical to come around. So the first exhalation, lower back. In-breath comes in, right arm works its way farther around the left leg. Second exhalation, middle back. Chest over the left side of your space. Inhalation comes in, third exhalation, chin out over the left shoulder. Matsyendrasana twist. Deepen it with your exhalations. As you should with all twists. Come out of it with an inhalation, so the next time your inhalation, come back to center. Now you're going to lean to the right so you can straighten your right leg. You're going to drop your left sitting bone down, engage the right leg, lift the chest, hide the back, flex your left foot, grab it with your right hand, grab the knee with your left hand, and now you get a chance to rock the baby. Maybe for some bodies, put your leg behind your head. But notice that the first thing I did was flex the ankle, basically putting that same positioning that we've had every time we've gone into the hip. So keep that. Draw the inside of the left leg towards your chest, top of the left shin towards the ceiling. Maybe, right about where I am, is I can put the foot to the crease of my right elbow, the knee to the crease of my left. Listen to your left knee. Don't do anything it doesn't want you to do. Don't do anything that gives you feedback from it. So left foot's flexed, protect the left knee. Chest is lifting towards the inside of the left leg to protect your back. The right leg is engaged to protect your back. Shoot that right heel as far forward as you can. And even though you're doing that, watch. You're going to drop your left leg down. It's probably going to drop down a little bit farther past the right foot just because all that opening has gone through. You're back in Dandasana. Back so we can go to Paschimottanasana to neutralize everything before we go to the other side. Settle in with an exhalation. Inhalation, swing your arms out, up, look up, reach up. Exhalation, fall into it. Pick up where you left off. Pick up your tools, time, gravity, your breath, your ability to surrender, and melt into Paschimottanasana with each exhalation. Try to spend at least 3 breaths in every asana when I'm there. And as you can see in this sequence, I mean, we've already spent 9 in Paschimottanasana at least. In-breath brings you up. Now we're to Janu Sirsasana, other side. We draw your left knee up, let the left knee fall to the side, bring your left heel towards your center, ball the left foot to the inside of the right leg. Now, we're going to switch sides, and hopefully if I can remember it, I'll do everything on the other side. The problem with when you switch sides, is and especially when you know where you're going, is you might skip some of the process of exploration, which cheats that other side of the body out of that. So don't go just whipping through to get to where you were in your last breath on the other side. Cautiously go through one breath at a time, and also don't let your experience on one side hold you back from what might be available on the other side, and vice versa. And then if you find that one side is much more open than the other, then bingo, you found your imbalances, and you know where in your own personal practice where to spend more time on one side or the other. So let an in-breath come in, up. Remember, we just do a baby twist. This isn't a deep twist. It's just a little twist to the right, left hand to the outside of the right knee, right hand behind you, a little twist to the right, so that you guarantee that all of your next inhalation is rising up and setting you up, so your chest is going straight towards the top of your right foot, your gaze is going towards your right foot. Again, make sure your left knee is silent. And give Janu Sirsasana a few breaths on this side. The other thing is when we get to the second side, I have to watch out for. Basically, I gave you so much description on the first side, there may have been a little more time spent on the first side. So just enjoy some of the silence that you get on this side and breathe. Ride that flow one more time. Fall deeper into Janu Sirsasana with your exhalation. Scoot back up with your inhalation. Draw your left knee up, drop the left foot down to the floor. You want there, just for the safety of your knee, you want to be a little space from your left heel to your left sitting bone. You then bend the right knee. If you need a strap, you use it. If not, you bring your hand around the leg, the shin, the foot, whatever you want to do. And shoot the right heel now towards where the wall and ceiling meet across the room. Soften your shoulders, lift your chest. In positions like this, I just imagine that the inhalation can go all the way down, in this case, into the right heel. The inhalation goes in there, finds whatever tension is there. When I exhale, I imagine all that tension just melting away. And then before you slowly, gently, cautiously drop the right leg down, hands stay where they are, or they slide up the shin, whatever your back's telling you. And then the left arm hooks at the top of the left shin. You can use the right arm to pull it in to make sure you have that. The right arm swings back. In-breath sets you up. And then a nice open twist to the right. These open twists kind of have the characteristics of back bends, the oxygenation, the, opening up the chest, opening up the shoulders. Remember, set up all twists with inhalations. The inhalations give you the information on whether you're safely aligned to go deeper into the twist. And then use the release of the exhalation to go deeper into the twist. And always, always use inhalations to come out of the twist. The upward rising in-breath just makes it safe. When you get back, you then take the left foot over the top of the still, strong and engaged right leg. The right hand comes to the left knee. Left arm goes back behind you in whichever way your left shoulder tells you is appropriate. You get space, you get set up. There's always a lot of setup that goes into twists, and that's just for safety. And then the in-breath comes in, gives you the space. Out-breath, lower back rotates to the left. Wherever you are, you wait for the in-breath to come in, straighten you up, to create a safe environment. The right arm can wrap a little bit farther around the left leg, and the second exhalation in the middle of the back. Twists. In-breath comes in, third exhalation, chin out over the left shoulder. Keep shooting your right heel forward. Look as far to the left as you can. Increasing the spinal rotation, giving you a beneficial abdominal squeeze, giving you a reason to breathe. These are the benefits of Ardha Matsyendrasana. Deepen your twist with an exhalation. Now you know where you're going. You swing through center. You go a little bit past center so you can lean to the right to take the outside line of your right foot all the way down. Super important safety factor right there. Because now you can do this. If you can do this, you can do a version of everything that's coming at you. So drop your right foot down over on your left side, rock back, try to drop your left sitting bone inside the line of your right heel. Let your left toes relax off to the right. Maybe stack your knees a little bit more. Remember, this leg has been through pigeon and a bunch of hip openers that the other side hadn't been through yet, so you might have a little bit better access to this asana than you did on the other side. You can lean back, you can hold onto your feet, you can bring your hands down in front. Just for future reference, you don't have to do the arms. You can bring your hands down in front, press back, ground your sitting bones. The reason why you press back and ground the sitting bones is then your body then trusts you, and it knows that the opening is not going to go forward to the knees. The muscles will relax once you have that trust, and you'll be able to drop deeper in. So what's the lesson you learned there? Trust gives you freedom, and freedom lets you drop deeper in. So that's an option, being in the forward fold, or now the primary opening in the left hip. That means we'll balance that out with opening into the right shoulder. You can walk the right hand up towards the left shoulder blade. You reach the left arm up. Treat elbows and knees the same way. Bend your left elbow right on its hinge. If your fingers touch, great. If not, just breathe into the feedback that is presenting itself. When it comes to the hips and the shoulders, there's a great probability that you're going to have a little imbalance on one side or the other. With the stronger arms might be a little bit tighter because you just use it more. The stronger leg might be a little bit tighter because you use it more. This is Gomukhasana, cow face pose. Cow face pose because your knees are supposed to like resemble the lips of a cow. Another breath into it. Relax the arms down. Just loosen up your shoulders if you want a little bit. Rotate them around a little bit. And then straighten your left leg. Check in. Your right leg should still be quiet, silent. The knees should be quiet. You're going to lean to your right and extend the left leg back. So you can literally stay way over here. You can stay way over here. If you're getting any feedback from the right hip, there's no reason to go any farther. You reach the left leg back. Once that feedback is gone, then maybe you shift a little bit from right to left. Maybe you're over center, in which case maybe you can drop down. There's a bunch of things you can do with your arms. You can cross them if you don't want to drop all the way down and rest your forehead on your forearms. You can extend them forward and be an extended pigeon bow. I like this one because it kind of gives more attention to the extended left leg as you put space from your fingertips to your toes, and that just increases the opening you get through the right hip. You can bring them over your lower back, which adds a little bit of weight to that target area. Or you can just leave them beneath your shoulders for balance and leave them a nice trusting space. Give Ekapada Rajakapatasana a few more breaths. Enjoy that you're not going to the back bend. You don't have to worry about anything here. Just breathe away. It's, these hip openers are knee protectors. The more you open your hips are, the less your knees have to do, the more longevity you get out of your knees. Melt deeper into it with an exhalation. At the end of your exhalation, tuck your chin, come up to neutral. We're going to do that same swivel now to the left. You're going to get there by sliding your right heel to your center. Your attention goes to your left leg. You shoot it towards the back left corner of your space. Shimmy a little bit to the left if you need to. Straighten the right leg, find the other corner. Upavisa Konasana is a great little partner stretch. You could have somebody on the other side that could be gently pulling on you. You have someone gently pushing from behind. Gently, keyword. Or you leave your hands behind, bring them to the toes, bring your hands underneath, pick up where you left off, let an in-breath set you up. Let an out-breath drop you down to that point you left off and just chip away. As you get deeper in, the resistance is going to become a little bit more formidable. But just chip away at it with the breath. Enjoy the journey. Give it one more in-breath, let the chest lift forward, let the rib cage lift up down out of the waist, with your out-breath drop down, and scoop up. Last time we were here, we did Paschimottanasana. Just to change it up a little bit, we're going to go from Upavista Konasana to Baddha Konasana. Your open angle pose to your bound angle pose. So lean back and bring your feet together. Wherever they land on their own, that's where I like to keep them. there's over a tendency to kind of pull the feet in, but there's some space between your heels and sitting bones that's right, that helps you feel like you can sit up straight. Because again, the more hidden your back is, the safer it is. When it's rounded, those protruding vertebrae, they're going to be the vulnerable spots when your body's tight. So, hide the back as much as you can, shoot your gaze way out in front of you, and collapse down with your exhalation. What do you do with your hands? You leave them behind you like so, which is a good version. You can grab the toes, but the problem is when you grab the toes, you have a tendency to over pull with the arms. Side note, I don't want the strength of my arms to decide where I'm going to go in my forward fold. The arms are way up here, and the opening I'm looking for is way down here. So whether you're going to a back bend or a forward bend, don't let the strength of your arms decide what your asana is going to be. Let gravity decide. Let the weight of your upper body decide. So the hands can be here, but the one I like the most is to slide the hands under and clasp your fingertips behind your heels. That way your upper arms are in a spot where you can help the inhalation to lift the chest forward as you inhale, but then just gravity takes you down as you exhale. Baddha Konasana. Give it another setup inhalation. Collapse down with your exhalation. Slide the arms out. Let an inhalation bring you up. Then you can bring the insides of the legs together. Last time we were here, we did Pasasana. This time we're going to do Malasana. So you can bring your hands beside you. Lift your sitting bones up away from the floor. Let your knees go away from each other. So basically, I'll turn sideways. You're going to let your knees go away from each other like this. You're going to bring your arms inside, like so. And then, some bodies have a hard time balancing here, in which case leave the arms forward to help you with that. Or you can slide the hands back and the tops of the hands can be on the floor, the palms can be facing upward, and the contact that your insides of your upper arms are making with the shins can help you to lift the chest forward. This is just great for digestion, great for relieving pain in the lower back. It's also called Malasana because you could clasp the hands behind your heels, kind of like a mala bead necklace, where it gets its name from. And then you slide the arms out, bring the hands back. We're back to exploring Uttanasana, where the sitting bones will lift up slowly. You find your balance, which gives you trust, and the trust that gives you freedom. And you just hang into it. Your tools are gravity, time, your breath, and your ability to just relax into it. Fall deeper into it with an exhalation. With an inhalation, at the top of your head, scoot forward. Your fingertips slide beneath your shoulders. Find standing Dandasana. And then with an exhalation, bend your knees. With an inhalation, jump your feet out. You're not looking for the splits. You're not looking for the widest stance. You're looking for a nice, stable, triangular stance that will get you to your warrior and your triangle. And we'll get you to a spot where you can hide the back, flatten the back with an inhalation. For Uttanasana, we're looking for even distribution through the feet. But for this one, over-distribute to your heels and relax down. I'm going to grab a block in this one just to show you how it can be used here. For trust, you can drop the top of your head to the block. And notice, as soon as I get that trust, between my heels being grounded and my head under the block, I can drop it down, get much more release, and possibly the top of the head can touch the floor. No hurry to get there. Some days are better than others. The only reason you want the top of the head to touch anything is so you can add to the trust and increase the development of the asana. At the end of your exhalation, bend your knees. That's so that your quads are engaged. And it's much safer for your back as you roll up. And now you're going to turn your right foot forward. Line it up so it's parallel to the front lines of your mat. Line it up so the right heel is going towards the arch of your left foot. Sometimes when you turn that right foot forward, the left side of your pelvis comes with it. So draw the left side of your pelvis back so your pelvic plate's facing over the left side of your space. Upper body's resting in that cradle above it. Arms extend. Touch that imaginary wall with your left fingertips. Take your gaze out of your right arm. Inhale to set up warrior two, and exhale to drop into it. That's the key. Is your big right toe now visible to the left side of your right knee? Is there a vertical line up your right shin? You move your left foot around to maintain that vertical line. Maybe you inch that left foot back if you've got enough opening through the right hip. Warrior two can also be referred to as right angle pose. You always, always, always want a right angle from your floor to your shin. If you're open enough, Some days you are, some days you're not. There's a right angle from the shin to the top of the right leg. That's the only one that will change. You always want a right angle from the top of the right leg to your rib cage. You always want a right angle from your rib cage to your arm. So you don't want to be doing this. This is a straining warrior 2. You want a nice centered Virabhadrasana 2. What I appreciate the most about this one these days is the opportunity to kind of just line up the arms and let the lines of energy flow through the nadis that are in the arms and clear out stuff that's built up in the shoulders, elbows, wrists, all the way through the hands and fingertips. With an exhalation, you drop deeper into warrior 2. With an inhalation, you straighten, but just make sure not to overly lock the right leg. Narrow the stance between your feet a little bit if you need more stability there. And then back to Trikonasana. I'm going to do mine without the block this time, just to show you a different version. Shoot the left hip back, reach your right arm forward as far as you can. And then just close that gate. I want a triangle here as well. This triangle lets you know your back is safe. From the top of the right leg to the right side of the ribcage to the inside of the right arm. You extend the left arm up. And instead of trying to get the right hand to the floor, focus more on your left arm towards the ceiling. And that'll keep the back safe. As the pose develops, you may be able to slide that right arm farther down. Never press into the right shin, because that can be problematic for your knee. It's okay to have the right hand here. It's okay to have the right hand on the floor. Intention goes a long way in the yoga practice. Your intention is to be flat through the left side of the rib cage, to lift through the right side of the rib cage. Instead of looking at your left arm, if you're looking up, look towards the ceiling with your gaze parallel to the left arm. That way you get a much greater range of rotation through the neck. And then from Trikonasana to Parsvakonasana, look down, so you can watch your right knee glide forward so it lines up with the right shin vertical off the floor. Leave the right hand on the floor, bring your right elbow to your knee, fingertips to the belly button. Plant your left foot, stretch the left arm away from it. You can keep looking down if you want, or you can tuck your chin towards your left armpit. Just stretching out the left side of the body, stretching out the intercostals on the left side, stretching out the left shoulder, planting the outside line of the left foot, getting space everywhere from your left foot to the back of your left hand. So you can make that smooth transition back to triangle. Left arm winds its way down past the right leg. As it starts to go up, the right leg straightens, the right arm releases, you're back in triangle. Because then your alignments in triangle set you up for a smooth transition back to set you up for warrior 2. And an exhalation drops you back down into it. Like we did the first time, the palms can go up this time. And then Drishti gaze is helpful with this transition. We'll get to the Drishti gaze in our next session when we're working on balance. But you're going to swivel forward. About halfway around, you're going to turn your left foot back. Maybe bring your hands onto your right knee. Maybe not, you don't have to. Then bring your hands down to the left side of your right foot. Slide that left leg back, drop the left knee down, release your left toes back. Different side, different experience. Maybe stay way up here on your fingertips. Maybe drop down just a little bit. Maybe come down to your forearms or beyond. And put the breath to work on that target area. The back of the right leg, the right hip. Keep the right knee silent. Keep your face relaxed, set the tone. Send one more in-breath in there. Come up, frame up your right heel. Slide the right side of the ribcage to the top of your right leg. Leave your right toes down to glide your right sitting bone back. Slide your fingertips beneath your shoulders. And then, notice the right leg is a little bit bent. That's why we left the right toes down. Leave it that way. Lift your toes to your chest, lift your chest towards your toes. Shoot your gaze way out in front of you. With an exhalation, collapse down over the right leg. With an inhalation, try to decrease the space between your chest and your foot as you try to increase the space between your right heel and your right sitting bone. That's where the work is done. With the development, it's just about surrendering down. Give Utthita Padasana one more breath. Collapse down into it with an exhalation. Let the head drop down this time. And then with an inhalation, come forward, down with toes on the ball of the right foot. Slide the hands forward to frame up your mat where your right foot is landed. Tuck your left toes under so your left heel comes off the floor. Inch your right foot over till the arch of your right foot covers your left thumb. And then carefully place your left knee to the right side of your right foot. Let your arms kind of catch you to make sure this transition is okay with your knees. Sit down, sit on something if you need to. This time around, the right toes stay facing forward, the left toes shoot off to your right. Your left hand comes to your right knee, your right arm goes back behind you the way you now know is appropriate for your shoulder. Fingertips land, in-breath gives you space, work your way up your back. So it's 3 breaths before you even end the twist. Use your next 3 breaths to get there. Relax the jaw. Look as far on the right as you can. Give Matsyendrasana a couple more. Deepen all twists with exhalations. Come out of all twists with inhalations. This time swing a little bit past center, lean to your left, straighten the left leg, drop the right sitting bone down, engage the left leg, hide the back by lifting the chest, flex the right foot, grab it with your left hand, grab the knee with your right hand, and you can just do this if you want. I say you can put your leg behind your head because I've done sessions with people who are brand new to yoga. They had a hard time doing just about everything in the class, but their bodies allowed them to put their leg behind the head. Just be super careful with your back and just don't get stuck if you do that, and don't force anything. So, since I can't do that, my option is to place a foot to the crease of the left elbow, knee to the crease of the right. And then the right foot drops down there next to the left. We're back in Dandasana. Back to make our journey towards Paschimottanasana another time. Settle into Dandasana with an exhalation. So let's let the arms swing out and up. Set up Paschimottanasana with an inhalation. And collapse down into it. Give it a few more. You've definitely cleared out some resistance. You've probably definitely developed this one pretty good. So see where your new edge of resistance is and spend some time chipping away at it. And then lead with the chest, scoop up with an inhalation. Since we did our first 2 rounds, Janu Sirsasana on each side, we've done Baddha Konasana, and we did our half boats with our leg extended. We're going to now work our way to full boat by going through Baddha Konasana. So bring your feet in. Wherever they land, that's where you want them. Grab the big toe of each foot, lift your chest, have a strap handy if you want it. Then bring your knees in. Tilt back just a little bit, just very subtly, so you're on the back little beveled edge of your sitting bones. And then, you can either extend one heel at a time, rest the elbow on the left knee as you extend the left heel, rest the right elbow on the right knee, and maybe straighten the legs. You can do it that way. Or, bring the knees in, straighten both legs. I'll turn sideways so you can get a glimpse of how we're doing this one. Leave your arms on your legs, or if you feel balanced enough, you can take your hands away, shoot them straight forward. See how Dandasana kind of prepared you for this one. And to show you how close Dandasana is to this one, you just tilt forward, and boom, you're right in Dandasana. So doing work here helps prepare you for the tilted version. Let's do that one more time. Bring the feet in for Baddha Konasana. Grab the toes, lift the chest to hide the back. Tilt back just a little bit to get on that back little beveled edge of your sitting bones. Bring the knees in. Use a strap if you want to around the balls of your feet. Or extend with the hands staying on the feet. Staying here is a great option. Hands can stay on the feet if you want, or if you feel like you have adequate balance, you can take the hands away. When it's time, you come out, settle into Dandasana with an exhalation. You swing the arms out, up, look up, reach up, inhalation, back down in, melting into Paschimottanasana with an exhalation. savoring the new version that you've now developed, melting deeper into it with another out breath, and then scoop it up. Collapsing in Dandasana, making your way gently down into your back. You can come down to your elbows if you want to, or just roll down, eventually dropping the shoulders and head all the way down. And we've done a few twists for the upper back. You know, we were mostly seated, so we didn't really get a chance to really get into the lumbar section. So we'll do a lying down twist. So reach your right leg forward, draw your left knee up, interlace your fingers around the shin just below the left knee. And spend a few breaths getting space from your right toes to your left knee. Something that's pretty much already there because of the time we spend in pigeon and the lunge and the rock the baby, etc. Notice my left foot is pointed. Bring the inside of my pointed left foot to the inside upper portion of the right leg. Placement of the left foot is important. So you want to be above the inside of the right knee. And you can bring the right hand to the outside of your left knee. You can extend your left arm straight out.